Good evening. Welcome to this community page called Live on Purpose. My name is Patty Baker. Welcome. If you are joining recorded for the first time, know that I come on live each week with a topic that comes from the Facebook Messenger, and you can tune in live if you want. Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And while I'm talking to you recorded, those who want to join in live are seeing the notification or know to come in the room around 8 p.m. where they will find me here. If you are joining me live and this is your first time, I see you. Thanks for joining in. I will not acknowledge you though unless you make a comment, because I just appreciate you being in the back of the room if you want to hang out for the evening. Tonight's topic, as you know, all topics come from Messenger. So if you want to click or tap on send message and send me a little message, say hello to me. And if you have a topic suggestion or a question, no question is out of the question. Everything is on the table over here. Why did we call this community page Live on Purpose? Well, let me tell you. I'll give you an example why, and then I'll tell you why. I was just talking to a friend of mine. I don't know, this is probably sometime last week. And he said he knew at 3 years old, that he wanted to be a firefighter and a paramedic. 3. And he just retired 2 years ago from being a firefighter EMT. So with all of that said, some of us know our purpose in life from a very young age, and others are still trying to figure it out. Most of us are, quite frankly. And so I want to just let you know that you're not alone in that if you are looking for purpose. This page is all about living on purpose, fully present in the moment, heart, soul, mind, and strength. Because when we engage each moment of every day, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, physically, what happens is our purpose begins unfolding right before us, and we're actually living it out. So it's a matter of just being aware and fully engaged in the presence of where we are in life. And in the midst of that, we're loving God, loving others, and extending some self-love in the process. So good evening to all of you. Let me say a quick hello to all of you, just real quick, and then we'll dive into tonight's topic, which I've got 3 different topics, if you will, and they are, let me just give them to you real quick. It's one topic, but I lumped 3 questions together. Do you believe people come into your life for a reason? Does God allow people to cross your path for a purpose? Kind of the same question, but a little different angle. And then the last one, how does God bring people together? In other words, how do you know if he's the right one for you? This came from a single woman who recently started dating. So let me say hello to you before we dive in. I'm excited you all are here. Hello to all of you. Just a quick shout out. Hi, great to see you tonight, Joyce. I'm glad you're in the house. And Jeffrey, you're in the house too. Thanks for being here. Hi, Mr. Kevin. Always wonderful to see you. Thanks for being here. Damon, thank you so much for your kind and encouraging videos that you send out to me. I appreciate those throughout the week. They are an encouragement to me for sure. And it takes me a while to get through these because I'm seeing all of you who are joining in. So quick hello. And hi, Robbie. Wonderful to see you from a rainy night in West Virginia. It is rainy here in the South as well. And Sue, you're saying I'm on the wrong page. Am I on the wrong page, meaning what? On my personal page, or am I on the Live on Purpose page? Because sometimes I make a mistake. I hate it when that happens. So anyway, let me see what else we got here. Yeah, I'm one of those dumb ones that can't figure it out with GPS. I'd get lost if I had a phone booth. Hi, Crystal. Wonderful to see you tonight. Michael's in the house. I'm glad you're here. Good evening, David. Great to see you live. Also joining in tonight. I love that you are in the Cleveland area and get to see so many concerts during the summer season. So glad you are here. Listen. This seems to be like an easy topic. Oh, Sue, you're saying you think I'm on my personal page. You know what? I probably am. Do you all know that I've done this before? But I'm glad that I'm over here, and I don't even know how to maybe share this to get it over there. Let me just take a second and see if I can do that. I can't. I don't know. I don't know how to do it, folks. I just don't. Let me see. Can I forward this to somebody? No. You probably can't even see me now. I have no idea. I'm new. You would think I've been doing this for 2 years. I act like I'm new to all this. Anyway, what I'll do is when this goes over to the Live on Purpose page, I will I'll go over there and share it when we're done here. Anyway, do you believe that people come into your life for a reason? That's the question for tonight. Yes is the answer. The end. Right? Easy to say, but let me tell you, everyone, everywhere is uniquely and wonderfully made. So, with all of that said, we're designed to have purpose. So why wouldn't we be a reason for everyone we come in contact with who enters into our lives, whether it be through this kind of a forum or whatever layer or level of influence we have in others' lives, others have in our lives, it's the same thing. And so the reason why people come into our lives is for our betterment, for sharpening our character, for sometimes for the other person, hello, and for any number of other reasons. And sometimes this side of heaven, we don't even know why. We're like, why are these people in my life? Right? Do you have that? You have some of them like, oh my gosh, why are these people in my life? Right? And then you're like, man, I'm so glad these people are in my life. I had coffee today with some friends, and as I'm sitting there and we're chatting and catching up, I go, man, I'm thinking to myself, man, I love these guys, and I'm so glad that they're in my life. There's a reason for it. I didn't know at the time, but our relationship has developed, and I just love them, and I love hanging out with them, and I love when they invite me over for coffee and hangout time and dinner, and I don't have to cook and all those wonderful things, right? So I love the relationship that I have out of that, but sometimes those relationships aren't always positive. And like I said, and we may not know this side of heaven. Let me give you some scripture. If this is your first time joining me on my page, let me tell you what, you will rarely see me here. You know why? Because normally I'm at 8 p.m. over on Live on Purpose, which is the new community page that we have. And I just made a mistake and come out here tonight. I hate it when I do that, but here we are. And there's always a reason why you're seeing me tonight. This comes from Psalms. I use 66 books of the Bible, Wikipedia, and Google Dictionary. So that's where I gather my material for these topics that come in. Psalms 39 says this, O Lord, you have examined my heart and know everything about me. You know when I sit down or stand up. You know my thoughts even when I'm far away. You see me when I travel and when I rest at home. You know everything I do. You know what I am going to say even before I say it, Lord. Lord, you go before me. You follow me, right? You go behind me. You place your hand of blessing on my head. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too great for me to even understand. The last part of that says, such knowledge about our Creator is too wonderful for us. All of this knowledge and understanding is too much for us. We cannot comprehend it this side of heaven. So we trust that God is the Creator. We are the creature. There's a reason. Sometimes we know, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we know up front, sometimes we don't know until the end. Who knows, right? Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But we just trust that we take up one little speck of space in this world that's in one of the universes that God has created. Here we are. That's it. That's it. It doesn't get any more complicated than that. Everybody you meet, I don't care if it's in the checkout line, at the DMV, wherever, they have come across your path for a reason. And that's the next question that came in. Does God allow people to cross your path for a purpose? And before I dive into answering this one, let me just say a quick shout out to you who are joining me. If this is your first time seeing me for a while, I'm normally not over here on my personal page. Normally I'm over on the community page called Live on Purpose. And if you're not over there, just you'll see the link. It's at the top of my page, or you can just type in Live on Purpose. You'll see my little mug with a ball cap on, and just like and follow, and then it'll show up in your news feeds, and you can see me over there. So this is rare, but I've come across your screen tonight for a reason. So thanks, Sue, for letting me know. And David, that I'm on my personal page tonight. Victor in the house, always good to see you, sir. And thank you so much for sending a message over on the Live on Purpose page. And I am probably about 4 hours in delay in responding today. But I do answer them in the order in which I receive them, and I know that you're next on deck. So there you are. Scott is in the house tonight. It was so great to see you during the tour that I did in the fall called Meet Me at the Table, and we are trying to work out some logistics so that I can do that again this year. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I did a 6-state tour this past fall, and I said to you all, whoever wants to meet me, wherever you want to meet me, send me your city and state, and we will put it on the list. And it ended up being a 6-state tour. I just had a blast meeting with all of you. So, I'll probably be doing that again here in the fall. Crystal Bauer, everyone you meet is a blessing or a lesson. A blessing or a lesson. I love it. Let me tell you, Crystal, you are the epitome of that, because when people come across your path, they are forever changed, and I know I am for knowing you. So thank you so much for being here tonight. And hey, Benjamin's in the house representing the South. So wonderful to see you. Hi, Miss Mandy. Great to see you. And Spring. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're here. Beautiful. Thanks for being in the house. All right, so here's the second of the third questions. Does God allow people to cross your path for a purpose? Now, remember, the first question was kind of the same. Do you believe people come into your life for a reason? This one is acknowledging that God is large and in charge. But does he allow people to cross our path? And so then, you're welcome, Crystal. So then what happens is, now we're questioning, is God sovereign in that, or do we have a free will choice? Like, what does that kind of look like? And then how does that kind of evolve into our purpose? Okay, I've learned something valuable from every relationship that I have had in my life, whether it was crossing somebody's path for a moment, or if they were in, or if they are still are in my life. When you are fully present in your relationships, you get that. You get it. Because you're there, you're receiving, you're giving. There's this back and forth relationship that's happening, even if it's just a smile as you're passing by someone. And it could also be for a negative reason. Hello. It doesn't mean the relationship wasn't meaningful because it was negative, or that God can't use that experience to positively benefit you. Crystal just said, it could be a blessing, it could be a lesson. And they might not even positively benefit from the relationship either. It might not all be about you. Hello. Maybe you're there for them. God can redeem even the negative experiences that we have with people. Okay? God can redeem it. Why do I say that? Because that's what happened to his son, Jesus, the Son of Man. God came down in skin 2,000 years ago. Somebody betrayed him. One of his 12 homies put him on. He sold him out for a few coins to tell him where he was so they could kill him. They hanged him on a cross where he died. He was crucified. That was kind of a negative relationship with Judas, don't you think? Let me just give you a little backstory on it. It's over in Matthew. It's the first book of the New Testament in the Bible. Bible has 2 volumes, Old Testament, New Testament. This one comes from the New Testament. It's the first book. And it says, I'm reading in Matthew, the chapter is 26. And I'm starting in verse 20. It says, when it was evening, Jesus sat down at the table with the 12 disciples. Now, like I said, these were his homeboys. This was his crew. This is who he was running with. These were his 12 closest brothers, quote unquote. Okay? These were his bros. You would think of all these people, and this that I'm reading to you is the what you might know as the Last Supper. Okay, that's when this whole dialogue occurred that I'm reading to you. But these are his closest friends. I read on. Jesus sat down at the table with the 12. While they were eating, Jesus said, I tell you the truth, one of you will betray me. Jesus already knew what was going to go down. He got it. He's just now letting them in that he knows about it. And they all became greatly distressed. And in their distress, each one, all 12, each one asked in turn, am I the one, Lord? Like, am I the one that's going to be betraying you? Because I'm not seeing that right now. Like, I'm here. We're here. We're good. But we believe you. If one of us, who's it going to be? Is it going to be me? And he replied, one of you who has just eaten from this bowl with me will betray me. Guess who that narrows it down to? 12, because they were all eaten. For the Son of Man must die, Jesus continued, as the scriptures declared long ago. Jesus knew he was fulfilling another one of the prophecies. You can't make this stuff up. He's telling him. For the Son of Man must die as the scriptures declared long ago, but how terrible it will be for the one who betrays him. It would be far better for that man if he had never been born. Judas, the one who would later betray him, also asked, Rabbi, am I the one? And Jesus told him, you have said it. Negative relationship, don't you think? Crossed paths for a purpose. God allowed Judas to cross the path of Jesus, become one of the 12, then to turn around to betray him in order to fulfill the prophecy. Not all relationships are rainbows and unicorns, are they not? But let me tell you what, Jesus loved him. His life played out for the purpose that God had for him in the redemption of humankind. God will redeem. Do not discount any relationship that you are in right now. If you are just now joining me, good evening. You rarely see me on here live because I'm live on Thursday nights over at my page, Live on Purpose. So you can go ahead and go over there. If you don't get any notifications for it, like and share. There is a reason why I've crossed your path here tonight. And so I'm glad that you're joining in. I will not acknowledge you though unless you make a comment, because I acknowledge your anonymity and being in the back of the room. So, and I see you, so I'm glad you're here, which is why I took that break to say that to you. All of you. All of this to say, not all relationships are healthy or positive. Some of them are there for a purpose, but that doesn't always necessarily mean that it's a good purpose. Good as we see good, but it's fulfilling the will of God in that. So whether or not God diverts your struggle, because he didn't take it from Jesus. So whether he diverts your struggle from another person does not determine whether or not he's God, or whether or not it is going for you to be well. Okay? So can we all just get along and love one another and trust that God's got people where God's got people for a reason? That's it. Love God, love others, and love yourself. Very simple. Very simple. But yet it's so difficult to do, isn't it? Especially when somebody gets under your skin and they're not fulfilling your needs, and they're not meeting your expectations, and they're not doing all these other things. Let me tell you what happened to me, just as a quick. I know, okay, so here's the deal about Jesus. But let's bring this into today. I started a company about, I don't know, I've been self-employed for almost 20 years. But I was working for somebody for a short period of time, and then I went back out on my own. So I was employed with another employer for about 18 months, and in October I started my own company again, and I just started a second company here last month. And so I'm an entrepreneur. I love building out businesses, and I love meeting people and building relationships, and I believe that everyone comes across our path for a reason. We just discussed this, right? So I work with insurance companies. They're my customers, and they refer out patients to me, and I then help those patients navigate through the insurance system to help them get better and help them return to full function in whatever that looks like based upon what their injury or illness is. I have an adjuster at this insurance company that happens to be the largest account that I have so far. And this insurance company, great. This adjuster, not so much. She's very slow. She doesn't meet the timelines according to what the state laws are. She doesn't abide by any of the rules. She doesn't respond to emails. She doesn't respond to voicemails. And now all of a sudden, the employer who bought this insurance policy is getting a little ticked. And now I'm thinking, okay, so is the patient. And I don't want the patient to lawyer up, because you know what's going to happen? Everybody's going to get sued, and that's going to be me. Now, I have a liability insurance policy on me. I get that. But you know what? Who wants to be sued? Really? So now I'm thinking, I better cover my little tush and start writing down that I'm making attempts, but these attempts have not been resourceful in getting anything done. So I begin documenting, right? That whole CYA thing that we do, guess what happened? Nothing. She didn't do anything. So the employer said, you know what? We're going to go call the little insurance agent and say, what are you guys doing? Because we're paying a lot of money. You told us this was a great insurance company, and this lady ain't doing nothing for this patient of ours, who happens to be our employee. So the little insurance agent started making some phone calls. Now, that guy seemed to wield a lot more power than I did, because he got some action. And as a result, the insurance company got a little nasty with me, and they stopped sending me referrals. And 2 weeks later, the adjuster terminated. She no longer works for the insurance company. Now, stressful time for me. Extremely stressful. I lost almost 15% of my business as a result of how I conducted myself in that relationship with her. I don't know that I could have done anything better or differently in the moment. I believed that I had been good and did everything that I knew that I could do in order to honor everybody involved, and it still turned out badly for both of us. I did not rejoice when she was terminated and no longer with the company. I didn't. I was kind of sad that I was hoping she could turn things around. And I'm kind of sad because now I can say, hey, told you, she wasn't doing her job. Can I get some more referrals from y'all? It ain't gonna work. It doesn't happen that way. Not all things work together for our good the way we want them to work. But God allowed these paths to cross for a reason, and the purpose I have no idea. But I will tell you this, it allowed me to focus a little bit more on God and slow my roll as I'm moving through trying to make things happen. You get what I'm saying? So be mindful that these relationships might be there for other reasons that you don't know about, even though they might not be that great, okay? So that's the second part of this. The first one was, I'm just as a recap for all you joining in right now, because you're probably just now finding me because Live on Purpose is dark over there because I switched on the wrong one and I'm over on my personal page. The first question for tonight was, do you believe people come into your life for a reason? The other one that came through the messenger was, does God allow people to cross your path for a purpose? This last one that I'm going to give you for tonight is, how does God bring people together? And do you know if he's the right one for you? This comes from a woman who gave a few paragraphs about where she is in, the other side of divorce. She's healed. She's ready to move on in her relationships. And she started doing some online dating. And she asked, this question, because it sounds to me like she's out there, she's doing, she's being, and maybe now she's got some choices. Who do you pick, right? Our relationships, if you're in this boat where you're looking at relationships from this angle and you don't know if those paths have crossed for your, if the reason is for you to get together or to learn something from it, how do you know? Ask yourself these questions. Is this relationship helping me grow closer to God or farther away from God? Because that is the first thing, okay? Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love others as you love yourself. So is this relationship allowing you to focus on, draw you closer to your relationship with Jesus or God or farther away. That's a pretty good indication of whether or not this is a healthy relationship for you to be in. Also, you are allowed to seek wise counsel. So oftentimes we get into these relationships and we don't want to tell anybody about them. We're like, I don't want to tell anybody I'm dating, and I don't know if he'd like this guy. And then all of a sudden, ladies, we do this, is we're like, hey, let me tell you about all the great things about this guy. Because I'm going to try and get you to meet him, and I'm going to try and get him to go to church, and I'm going to try and get him to do this, and I'm going to try and fix him. And then y'all will like him. And then all of a sudden you start bad-mouthing him all over the place, and they're like, whoa, is this the same guy you've been telling us about for the last 2 months? And now all of a sudden, why is he an idiot? Oh, you didn't tell us all this before. But then you kind of work things out, and you're like, well, I can kind of see past this, and I can kind of see past that. Listen, if this person is taking you away from who you are in Jesus, in Christ-like character, in righteousness, stop negotiating. You're trying to hit a moving target, and you keep moving the target. Men, you do the same thing. Exact same thing. Looks a little different, but y'all do that too. You're a little more visual about it. I want to give you this scripture. This comes from Matthew, same book that I just read, chapter 6, and it says, so don't worry about these things, saying, what will we eat? What will we drink? What will we wear? Why? Because these things dominate the thoughts of people who don't believe in God. But your heavenly Father already knows all of your needs. All of them, including your partnership relationships. All of them. He knows all your needs. Seek the kingdom of God above all else. Seek first the kingdom of God. And live righteously. And he will give you everything you need. Trust that. So don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Go out. Have a cup of coffee. Meet somebody. Take a look and say, hey, kick the tires a little bit. Run around. Have a couple of dates. Go to the movies. Go to the gym together. Go hike. Go walk. Get to know one another. Develop a friendship. It's okay. But at some point, you've got to ask yourself, is this person drawing closer to God, or are they away from God? And what are they doing to me? And how are they treating others? And how are they treating me? I just started dating again, a few weeks ago. I decided, I think I'm going to, get back out there. Why not? I'm in a season where I feel comfortable to do that. I've just got this business ramped up over the last 9 months. It's going pretty good. I feel like I can take my mind off of that just a little bit and pull back the throttle. And I've been on a few dates. It's been great. Great. And let me tell you how easy it is to sift through them. Because when you know who you are in Christ, it's very easy to disseminate and say, you know what? This guy, he takes me to coffee and he says, well, I'm here. I wanted to see you. Visually, you're appealing, and I'm into sex. I mean, that's how men are. And so I just want to let you know that that's kind of where this is headed, and I feel this physical attraction and chemistry, and I'm thinking, I just met this guy. Like, we just had coffee, and I've been here less than 90 minutes. And now we're having a conversation about sex? Really? And so I said to him, my relationship with God is the most important thing. Ding. And I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize that. Heart, soul, mind, and strength. I need to be able to emotionally connect with you, spiritually connect with you, which I don't see happening right now, and intellectually connect with you before I even begin to think about any sort of physical connection with you. But I have seen in this moment that you don't mind hitting the home run, but you don't want to run the plates. You just want to go ahead and get the point for it. It doesn't work that way. Now, it may work that way in your world, but it doesn't work that way in mine. No pressure. It's good. Carry on. So, he gives me his number. Guess what? I didn't call him. I don't need to, because I've already sifted through it. Can I tell you, he was yummy. He looked great. But that's not where I am. And obviously, that's not where he is either. So, I can easily sift through those, right? I'm not worried about it. And I'm not going to go ahead and have him pay for it, Charles, through a series of dates to where he feels like now he deserves it because he spent X amount of dollars on it and so it's his. Doesn't work that way for me. It just doesn't. But I will tell you this. I have three close friends of mine that I share with them. This is where I am in my dating. These are the men that I've met. This is the decision-making process that I've met so far. This one here I had to back off on a little bit because I don't know where he is right now. He's a little messed up. And they said, well, that's okay to be his friend. You know, you don't have to be in a committed relationship with him. And I'm like, yeah, I never thought about it that way. That was really good. And so I was able to back out of that and say, yeah, I can see where I can be a friend and allow that to play out a little bit more and let me see where that goes. And do you know, I bring these people before the Lord in prayer and I say, God, you know this person. Show me what there is. I went out here not too long ago with a physician. Great man. Did I tell you he was yummy too? He looked amazing. Amazing. Two beautiful kids whom I never saw, I just saw photos of. Went out a couple of times. I sought the Lord about him and I said, hey, what do you think? I didn't really get anything. I said, Lord, it's not like I heard from God, hey, Patty, go for this one. I didn't hear that. Hey, Patty, stay away from him. I didn't hear that either, okay? I didn't get nothing. But I'm praying. I'm like, God, just show me if he's the one. Show me. Give me a sign either way. Give me wisdom. Give me insight. Give me understanding. If you ask for it, God will give it to you. So guess what? About 3 weeks in, I saw the ugly side. I saw a temper. I saw a rage. I saw a lot of things I hadn't seen before. And I thought, you know what? Not pretty. Not pretty. That is a hidden character defect that once it comes out can probably get pretty vicious. So I backed away from the relationship and I said, you know, I'm just not sensing that we're a connection. That's it. So for those of you who are asking this question that came through the inbox, how does God bring together, how does God bring people together? And how do you know if he's the right one for you? Or how do you know if she's the right one for you? Ask yourself that question. Are they bringing you closer to God or farther away from God? I had a man, he sent me a devotional. He said, can I have your mailing address? I'm like, I gave him the P.O. box. And he sent me a devotional. And he said, hey, I'd like to do devotional with you. And we can read it together. Wow. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Drawing me closer to God and each other in the process. Do you see? So for me, that works. Ask yourself the question. And how do you know? You stay in the Word. You seek some wise counsel. Don't go throwing it all over Facebook and social media and Instagram and Twitter and everything else. Keep it close. Guard your heart. And God will guide you. All you got to do is ask him for it. At the end of the day, the bottom line is God brings people into our life for a reason. Whether it's for a brief moment, like it is tonight with you and I, or whether it's a relationship that's lasting. And so be mindful of those relationships. That's what living on purpose is all about. That's why that community page that I built out, that I'm not on right now because I decided to come over here on my personal page by accident, but God had other plans for this purpose, for you and I to meet together if you don't normally join me over on that community page. So my mistake is God works all things together for good, and I hope that he did for you and I tonight in order to meet. If you like this video, please go ahead and share it. React to it with a heart or a thumbs up, and I give that back to you. And then go over to the Live on Purpose page, click like and follow, and then you can get these weekly messages and daily inspirational posts that I have over there. As I always end the evening, love God, love others, and love yourself. Good night. Joelle's in the house. Girl, I love you. Rain Smith is in the house. I love you. I'm staying on now because I'm seeing all you. Debbie's in the house. Hi, beautiful. Oh, you guys. Anyway, I love you all. I love you all. And I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And it was great to see all of you. Join me over on the community page, okay, beautiful people? All right. Love you. Bye. Oh, you're welcome, Robbie. I'm glad. I love and miss you too, Miss Marilyn. You guys are beautiful.